looking for a healthy snack that is super easy to make at home, this is the perfect recipe for you. So today, I'm going to be making my tasty guacamole recipe. Check it out. And this is all you're going to need to put this amazing, tasty guacamole recipe together. You'll see that we have our avocado. Pick a ripe avocado. Try and pick one that gives a little bit with your thumb, but it should not be mushy. This one is pretty close to perfect. Next to our avocado, we have a shallot and a clove of garlic, some parsley. Typically in a traditional guacamole, you would use cilantro, or as some people say, cilantro. My kids don't like cilantro, so I'm using parsley. Here we have a lime, a bowl, and a mortar and pestle, and some salt and pepper. Really, really simple, and it's so easy to put together. You may think, why is he making a cooking kosher about guacamole when I could just buy it in the store? If you buy it in the store, it will not taste as good as this. It will not be as fresh as this, and you will be unbelievably surprised how much better this tastes. Let's get started. First things first, I'm gonna rip off a little chunk here of parsley and give it a good wash, because you gotta check it for bugs. I'm gonna look for the freshest spot. Love that sound. I'll just get it washed. I'll be right back. Just let the water run through your fingers. Don't use the powdered stuff here. You should really use the fresh stuff. I got this at the farmer's market, and it's gonna really give a nice flavor to our guac. Let's go back to the table. I just pat my parsley dry in a little paper towel. You don't want a wet and watery guacamole. First things first, it's all about the avocado. As I said before, pick a really good avocado. This pit should come out really nice and easily. I'm gonna show you how to slice it. Is a really cool trick. Just take your chef's knife or any knife that you have, cut right through the pit. Be careful when you're cutting towards your hand, especially you kids out there, and then just turn it while you're touching the pit. Meet your line here on the top, and then you just go on the line and give it a little bit of a twist. And that is a really beautiful avocado. Now, simple trick for taking your pit out. Take your avocado and give it a little whack. You just give it a little twist. I'm going to show you two different ways to make this guac. Now, if you have, like I do, a beautiful mortar and pestle, this is the biblical stuff. This is really good. This is heavy and strong, and this is the best way to do it, I'd say. But if you don't have one, I'm going to show you how to make it in an old-fashioned regular bowl, and actually that works just as well. So what I'm going to do with our guac is I'm going to take half and put it in the mortar and pestle, and half and put it in the bowl. There's lots of ways to take your avocado out of its skin. I'm just going to cut some slices here. And if it's a ripe avocado, it should be pretty easy to just take the skin off this way. Okay, now that's one way to do it. Here's another way, a cool, tricky, chefy way. You take your little paring knife and you cut down towards your hand. Just be careful again. Then you cross hatch it this way. I'm gonna scoop this out. Hear the music. Okay, I digress. So just get in there and scoop out your avocado pieces into your mortar and pestle. It's all in there, looking good. Now the other option, we're gonna make it in the bowl here. So here I'm just gonna roughly chop it up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Fancy. All right, and then just scoop it up and put the other half of your avocado into the bowl. Next up, I'm gonna chop up our parsley. You don't need to chop this so perfectly. So I'm just roughly chopping it. I'm just gonna divide it approximately in half. Half in here, half in here. Okay, I got a nice big shallot here. We'll chop off the ends. Make sure you sharpen your knife. Sharper knife is actually surprisingly safer because you're less likely to slip. Again, you don't need to make this so fine. Just give it a... You may be wondering, why doesn't he use onion or red onion or scallion? The reason I use shallots is they're a bit more mild, and I find that they let the avocado speak for itself and they don't overpower it. So now I'm going to take my shallot, that's half of it. I'll put that one in the bowl. Beautiful. And the other half I'm going to put in our mortar and pestle. Feeling the crying coming on. Good. And in our mortar and pestle. Beautiful. It's looking so fresh. That's what's great about guacamole, is everything's so fresh. Last thing, a clove of garlic. Now I chose kind of a medium clove. Just put your knife on top, give it a little whack, and the skin should come right off. Cool. Now we're gonna sweep that aside, cut off our end. The only reason I'm doing this is just to show you that there are two ways to do it, and that if you don't have a mortar and pestle, you don't need to feel like you can't make this. You could make it just with a simple bowl, even if you have a plastic bowl. I'm just going to divide this in half. So this one goes in our mortar and pestle, and this one in our bowl. So I'm just going to take a lime here. This really kicks up the flavor. Don't forget to roll your lime, press down a little bit. That releases a lot of the juices, makes it much juicier when you try squeezing it. I'm just going to slice down the middle. You got 2 halves of lime, 1 half in here and 1 in here. Last 2 ingredients, salt and pepper. And you need this. You can't skip this. This actually really helps it to grind. So I put a couple of nice pinches in there. And the same thing in here in my bowl. Let's grind some fresh black cracked pepper. Now I'm going to bring my mortar and pestle a little bit closer so I can get some leverage over the board. You may be wondering why I have this knife here this whole time. That's how I'm going to make the bowl one, because you don't want to put this in the bowl because it'll crack the bowl. So the mortar and pestle, we're just going to, I love that sound. And this really helps it to come together. Grind it up, mash it up. You can go as creamy as you like, or you can go a little more chunky. I prefer chunky, which is why the bowl method works great too. And this really juices those limes. You see how everything's coming together, and you could always scrape it down. I recommend you hold on to your mortar while you're doing this. And if there's still whole chunks of avocado, smash them against the wall a little bit and get them kind of mixed up. This is really coming together nice. Okay, now over to the bowl. Let's switch these. The bowl is a little tougher, so I just take a knife and I just start chopping and combining. Chop it against the wall of the bowl. Now this actually isn't working the way I like, so I'm going to switch it to a plastic bowl. Always be willing to make a change in the middle. Don't be stuck on any plan that you had. I planned on this bowl, but I've done it before in a plastic bowl. I know it works better, so I'm willing to change. There's nothing wrong with changing your plan. If you're cooking kosher, you got to be willing to experiment. All right, let's set this aside and let's see how this works. All right, just chop down. This is more like a chopped guacamole, and you kind of slice as you chop, and it takes these pieces and it just mashes them up even further. Now, no doubt this version is probably going to be more chunky than your mortar and pestle version, but that's okay. It's still going to taste spectacular. And you just do this as long as you like. Want to do it a little more, get it a little finer? It's a good workout. You don't need to go to the gym tonight. You could just keep chopping this, keep turning your bowl while you're chopping, and you see that it's really coming together. This is best with a paring knife. All right, this one's looking great. Let's go back to our mortar and pestle and give it a check, and then we'll be ready to plate it up. Wow, this one's really nice and mushed. Mushed is usually not a good word, but in the case of guacamole, I think it is. I think it's time to eat. So there you have it, my authentic homemade Mexican guacamole. This is the tastiest recipe. I gotta tell you, it smells so good. It looks so good. We have our 2 versions, like I told you when we were making it. One in the mortar and pestle, a little creamier, and one in the bowl. I transferred it back to the nice bowl, a little bit chunkier. So it depends on your taste. My taste is both. So we got some beautiful tortilla chips here and some lime wedges, a little parsley on top. I mean, it's kind of enough talking. It's time to eat. I'm pretty hungry. So let's give it a taste. I'm going to take one of my tortilla chips, which I did not make from scratch, but if you want me to teach you how to make them, just put a comment in the comments below. Which one should I try first? Let's go for this one. Put a little bit here on my tortilla chip, and let's see how we did. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hadama. Whoa, that is so good. I kind of have to say that because I'm the cooking kosher guy. But even if I weren't talking to you guys, this is seriously good. I'm telling you, this is delicious. Let's try the one that we made here in the bowl. Really good. Tastes the same. It really is a matter of your preference. It's a texture thing. This one's a little creamier. This one's a little chunkier. They're both great. I'll tell you the truth. The thing I like the least is the chips. These chips are not very good. You could take a nice lime wedge here, and you could even give a little extra hit of lime on top. If you want to go straight in, you could just kind of scoop with the chip. No double dipping. The best drink with guacamole, I have some orange juice. If you want to make sangria, you can, but I didn't have any wine. So, bottoms up. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh b'dvaro. So refreshing. That's it for this episode of Cooking Kosher, where today we made homemade tasty guacamole. I hope you enjoyed this recipe as much as I enjoyed eating it. I'm actually going to dig in and finish this all up. Thanks so much for joining us for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure to click that bell for notifications. Leave us a comment below and like this video if you enjoyed it, and let us know what you'd like us to make for you next. And we'll see you next time. L'chaim.